Alright, let's try and shoot down an F-14 in a Mirage. We start this engagement at about 30 miles away. Each of us is armed with 2 heat seekers and 2 semi-active, search and range home. Basically, he has Sparrows and I have Super 530s, so our armament is roughly comparable. There's no hiding here, so we just go head on, lock up, get a hard lock, and single target track mode. Now he's got a better radar and longer range missiles. As you can see here, so without firing, I put him on my notch. You can see there on the radar screen to keep him locked, so I know where he is. Keep him guessing, and I'm pumping chaff and putting him on my beam, hopefully to throw the lock. Fox 1 at maximum range. Now that was intended as a jab to see if I can get him to break his lock. While that missile's going in, I'm closing in, trying to get within probable kill range here, flying an intercept course, while spamming chaff, countermeasures, doing some evasives. And that missile was intended to kill. The second one. Right there. But it looks like I got a good strike with the first missile, so at least I'm about to. So yeah, not that bad. Nothing against the Tomcat, it's just I think that the Sparrow has a range advantage but doesn't track as well. And we are looking good. Okay, so here's the TAC view of the first engagement. We got a starting position head-to-head at about 30 miles. Let's do this to clarify the picture a little bit. I'm going to zoom up here. So it looks, you know, as expected, the Tomcat gets first look, first shot. No surprises there, right? Better radar. You know, and his, I think the Sparrow may have longer range, so he gets first shot. We both notch each other in the same direction. I'm keeping my lock. Dumping a bunch of chaff, which seems to work. At a range of about 13 miles. Looks like I fired at about 15. So out it goes. The Sparrow goes for my chaff. He's dumping chaff too, but he doesn't really maneuver hard enough, and smack. And then another one just to spite him. It's from the other point of view here. So acquisition, fire, notch him, put him on the beam, toss the Sparrow off my tail, maintain a lock on him, and that works pretty much as you'd want it to, except that I wasted a second missile. I should have saved it for his non-present wingman. Alright, let's try this again. Hey, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? So this time I tried climbing up a little higher, trying to get a look down, shoot down, but you know, I thought better of it. Again, keeping him on my notch. Diving, that was good. Put him on the beam. Dumping some chaff, and I've lost my lock, which is a bad thing, because that means I'm going to have to reacquire it. Yeah, with some practice, you can get used to using your radar screen and look out your cockpit kind of at the same time. I could have done that better, given it a better lead shot, but we'll see how this goes. Again, trying to fly a spiral and use that atmosphere to bleed energy out of this Sparrow that's coming my way. At least that I think is coming my way. Now I'm in firing range. I got what I thought was a good lead shot on him. Now, I can't see it right now, but he's doing some badass evasives. He managed to trash my lock. So let's go for the magic shot. I don't think the first one's going to hit, so I fire the second one stupidly. And, hey, what's going on here? Uh-oh. Now I'm trying to close in for guns with a head-on shot. Come on, guys. Oh! Yeah. Okay, this one's a bit less flattering, but let's go with it anyway. I think my mistake was that I didn't notch him as much as I could have. Could have done a little bit more evasion here. Look at that. Okay, here's what it is. God, I love TAC view. Okay, so this missile's still coming in. He's got a good lock on me, at least for now. My Super 530. Now watch this evasive turn he does. He does a complete 360, dumping chaff the whole way. So here, there's pretty much no way my missile has enough energy to catch him. Look at that tight turn. He drops his nose, gets his energy back. Now this missile shot is launched. No, sorry, his Sparrow shot is trashed. But so is my super shot. That's going to track his chaff out here, who knows where. And I spam my magic missiles. We'll get to that in a second. I don't even see this until... Hey, look at that. Right in the face. That was unflattering. There it is right there. Right in the face with a Sparrow. Let's watch that again. It was just glorious. Boom. Okay, hopefully learning from my mistakes here. I think my problem previously was that well, you know what it was. I thought he fired both Sparrows, but he kept one in reserve after dodging both of my long-range missiles and shot me in the face with it. I did not heed my RWR. Had I done some evasives, who knows? So keep him locked, put him on the notch, dive a little bit, hopefully get him, hopefully to screw up his radar. If I'm lower than he is, he's going to have a harder time picking me out with a pulse Doppler, but going by the RWR tone doesn't seem to be working. But at least it keeps my energy up. And I've got to look up, shoot up on it, which means I hold my lock much better. In range, fire. So it seems, even at maximum range, those Super 530s are pretty accurate as long as he doesn't trash your lock. Most of the time. So I've got 2 out. Looks like a splash to me. I don't know if that lingering RWR tone is a bug or not, or if that's actually how it works. There we go. Good kill. So yeah, Super 530, shorter range, but pretty accurate. This one worked out a lot better for me. Let's get to the good stuff here. Of course, he gets first shot, as always. I do a bit more of an aggressive evasion. And out and back, dropping chaff. I don't know if the missile picked up my chaff or what. I may have broken the lock for a split second. Fire my Super 530 as a jab, not expecting that one to hit. But it looks like he's trying to do that super awesome 360 kind of half turn Amelman thing he did last time. But it's a bit too late. And the Super 530 has enough time to hit, plus the second one just to rub it in, leaving me to chase his wreck down to the deck. Alright, so I'm setting up a mission here where we're kind of forced to go within visual range, give him two Sidewinders, about a mile apart. We're each on each other's 1 o'clock. Give myself the Mach 550 Magic. And I've been wanting to try this out. Usually I use my 530s and I don't really get close enough in. But there's really something I want to do. Can't quite put my finger on it.
I want to cast Magic Missile.
Yeah, sorry about that, I had to. So first off, a couple of ways how not to do it. I'm in a flat turn here. Trying to figure out, gee, should I turn off my lights? Do I arm my weapons? Gee, I'm already pretty slow. Where the hell, Yeah, I gotta turn off my lights, otherwise he's just gonna find me. Huh? Oh, shit. That didn't go very well. That sucked. This is probably the most humiliating tac view I've ever seen. Straight up newbie action. It doesn't get any dumber than that. So let's try that again, same scenario. See if I can do better this time by not worrying about the lights. Just because I forgot that AI just knows where you are. That's how they roll. Let's put it into vertical scan mode, see if I can lock them up by rolling. This is a good concept. And, son of a bitch. And this one is only slightly better. Here I am messing with my switches. At least I bothered to dump some countermeasures, but nah. This is horrible. We gotta change something here. Unfortunately, tragedy struck during the recording of this beautiful maneuver I just pulled. I did end up beating him, but lost the video file, which pisses me off, but at least TrackView captured it. So we start out, you know, a beam, and like a good Tomcat pilot would, he pulls up into the vertical, pulling some excellent geometry. But in the meantime, I'm able to use the Mirage's delta wing to my advantage, get a really good turn rate right about here. And he hasn't had enough time to bring his nose back around. And look what I get to do. Magic Missile. Bam, bam. This was a glorious dogfight. I got some excellent footage of it and ended up trying to shoot his wreckage on the way down really close in too. It was really quite nice. Unfortunately, you're going to just have to take my word for it, and I'll try to refly this thing and see what happens. Alright, so let's refly the same scenario, keeping in mind what I learned previously from my successes and failures. Let's use a hell of a lot of vertical plane. Nice kind of 45-degree dive down in, keep my speed up, but allow me to use my delta wing to pull a lot of G, get my nose around fairly quickly while he's climbing up using the vertical like I'd expect them to. Again, using vertical scan to hopefully pick him up on the radar. Kind of maintain a fix on him just in case. Bam, there we go. Got a radar lock on him. Seeker lock. Fox 2. Boom, right in the face. That makes me feel a lot better about myself. And here I'm trying to replicate the footage I lost previously by diving after the wreckage, but unfortunately I wasn't able to catch up with them. Okay, starting out at no advantage either way, and let's go with it. He goes into the vertical. And this time what makes a difference is I'm much more aggressive dropping my nose, so I use more of a dive to keep my energy up. Although if you look at it from the side, he's going to be making tighter turns. He's going uphill, putting money in the bank, where I'm making a withdrawal. Good illustration of the tactical leg there. But his geometry is tighter, but my rate is higher. So that allows me to cast Magic Missile. Pretty good shot. Now that could have gone the other way. If he had locked me up, we would have had a mutual kill. But we didn't. Now, I want to show you a couple of ways this didn't work, because I'm going to close it up here in a minute. We're going to talk about kind of the general state of things between these two aircraft. In this example, I did dive a little bit, but not quite enough to keep my energy up. You can see I'm bleeding speed. Watch my TAS over here. It's actually pretty high, but I don't take enough advantage of my turn rate. So I kept my speed, but didn't really use it to accomplish anything. And of course, he punishes me with a Sidewinder. And in this one, kind of the opposite. I did stayed more horizontal. He's going up vertical and bleeding energy, where I'm kind of, look at this, my true airspeed's pretty low. So I didn't dive enough, and my afterburner isn't quite enough to keep my energy where I need it to be to have enough authority to point my nose and get a good lock here in time. See what I mean? And I just wasted my friggin' shot here. He's got plenty of energy coming downhill to punch me in the face. Boom. So don't do that. Keep your energy up. Alright, so just some closing statements here, because we are soon, hopefully, quote unquote, going to be seeing situations in which the Mirage is going to be going against the F-14 in multiplayer. And if you're flying the Mirage, what do? As you saw within kind of active missile range, there's things you can do. You can notch, you can dive, you can use your countermeasures, and you've got more or less kind of an even fight, because your missiles are pretty accurate. I'd say they're probably a little more accurate than the Sparrow. That leaves you with a fighting chance, even though he's going to get first shot on you. You can hopefully trash the Sparrow missiles and get your Super 530s on him. Within visual range, don't do that. Just don't. Really, the best way to fight a Tomcat is probably not to. But if you get within visual range, the trick is to you've got this big ass delta wing, which is really good for making sharp turns, but you can do so probably only once, depending on your altitude and energy state. So before you enter the fight, you want to keep your Mach up. I would say probably 0.8 or higher, which lets you make that one aggressive turn. And if you don't make your kill after that turn, you're probably going to be eating some shit. Um, so you've got a good high speed performance, but that's going to bleed off really quickly. And the Tomcat has a thrust advantage, can turn tighter than you, or at least competitive with it with the Mirage. So um, we'll see how that goes. And against the Phoenix missile, who knows? I say your best bet is probably just to go the other direction, or I don't know. That's a big variable. We don't know what that's going to look like in PvP. So we'll have to wait and see. Until then, good hunting and start practicing your ACM.